After the release of Kanye's commercial, and this one,
but we actually didn't spend any money on the actual commercial.
I decided to check out the Yeezy Pods, and the first thing that came to my mind was that these would be perfect for calisthenics. But instead of buying Yeezy Pods, I made my own. This is my experience and my review on the knockoff Yeezy Pods.
Right, so I just got to the park. I'm gonna do some calisthenics with my new sock shoes, my Yeezy Pod knockoffs. Just gonna do a little review on seeing how they feel, seeing what I could probably improve on. These are the first iterations, so I think I may be building more in the future. I know initially I decided to make my own because I saw the Yeezy shoe socks were originally going to retail for $200. But then I thought, you know what, I think I could build it myself for like $20. But then a couple weeks later, I saw that Yeezy decided to drop the price from $200 to $20. That probably was some sort of buyer psychology where you do some sort of price anchoring at $200, so then that way when you bring it all the way down to $20, the customer or the consumer thinks, oh my gosh, I'm getting a great deal. I'm saving $180, when really probably they're making it for maybe $2 or $3 in bulk, where you could probably make your own for $20, which is exactly what I did. I bought all the supplies from Amazon for about $20. I bought 2 pairs of socks, only bought 1 pair of the soles that go underneath the feet. But I'm just gonna be trying them out, and I'll keep you guys informed on the rest. So let's do it. This is the first day using the knockoff great value Yeezy Pods. Came out to UNCC. I call it UNCC, the Useless University of North Carolina, Charlotte. You'll find a lot of bots out here. This is usually where I go train calisthenics. It's a free park. A lot of shitty drivers out here. Most importantly, just wanted to try these out. Now we can see, not too bad. They're already getting kind of dirty. So I adjusted my camera so I can see a little bit more. Now I can see the bottom of these. It's a little off. Obviously it's not gonna be the best, but it's a work in progress. These are white too. You gotta keep in mind that they came out with the Yeezy Pods in black. So then that way, you probably don't have to wash them as often. And that's something that I didn't take into consideration, is that I wanted a white version, but it completely did not cross my mind to even think about washing them or how the white would get dirty a lot more easily than the black version. So
this is me doing some basic stretching. Obviously it's not going to put too much wear and tear on the socks. Really just going through my regular training of some planche push-ups with resistant bands, some handstand push-ups. Also just rubbing it in people's face. You gotta let them know you got those skill moves. Showing off the skills in front of the Chinese people, the Zhongguo Ren. Same thing, just going through some front lever progressions, some front levers with the resistant bands, front lever raises, front lever holds with the resistant bands. Now I'm just testing on my straight kicks, because with this you have to be able to pivot, and I wasn't really able to pivot. And so because I wasn't able to pivot, I'm not really comfortably able to extend that leg. Now just some back levers, overhand and underhand grip. Day 2, because it was a Monday, that meant the student parking was not free, so me and my friends wanted to go train. So we usually park at a park that is about 1 mile away from the calisthenic pull-up bars. And so that was going to give me an opportunity to walk on some long distance on the pavement.
Oh, for real?
Bell, you seen that?
Nah, he didn't. He said he didn't want to fight Dustin Poirier. He said he doesn't deserve a title match.
First of all, he tripped. You feel me? That's what we're tripping.
Now I'm working on some pseudo planche leans. So the bottom of my toes are rubbing up against the ground. So that's actually what got them to be dirty. And now it's just some V-sits to planche.
There you go.
Learning some muscle ups. My friend Seth's killing it. This is Hamza's first ever muscle
He
up.
just learned from seeing you.
I think because they're somewhat similar height and body type, we kind of gave them a little bit more insight. And I'm just showing them how to do a slow muscle up. And this is them doing handstands. Seth needs to get his waist above his torso. And then I decided to show Hamza how to do an aerial or a butterfly kick.
You start coming in the other side, right? And then you start coming like a B-twist. Then you start realizing you got sneakerhead in and really
Put these things through hell. Damn.
Day 3, I decided to put it to a completely different torture test.
Yo, what's up? All right, we made it to the park. Today we're gonna do a little bit of tricking or parkour, free running. I want to practice a little bit of my B-twist and my butterfly kicks, some aerials. Also want to start kind of nailing my touchdown raiz, B-twists, and cork flips. I want to start working on those. And so I thought, you know, what better time to practice or start using or putting the socks through a little bit more of a torture test than right now. So I know the park is a little busy. The one I usually go to, they're playing baseball at, and I didn't want to get hit by a baseball, so I came to this one. But this one closes at sunset, so I don't have much time. I've been busy this whole day. Let's see how it goes. As far as the shoes, they're still intact. Obviously, they look a little bit dirty because I've been running in them. I've been doing calisthenics in them. And so now I want to do a little bit of tricking to see how that plays out. I just got to find a spot where I can put my camera down and record a little bit, and then I'll show you that. I would say that this is probably a good sport to practice with the fake Yeezy Pods, because a lot of tricking requires you to do a lot of pivoting. And so you need to pivot on a foot and foot placement. And so we'll see how the glue holds up, the Gorilla Glue, and we'll see how comfortable it is on the floor. So I'll get back to you on that.
Just starting off with some handstand holds for a little bit. And just practicing the ninja cartwheel before I jump into aerials. And already I was feeling the shoe socks beginning to slide away from where they're supposed to be. Then now just working on some progressions for my touchdown raiz. If you have any advice or any tips on how to really clean it up, just leave a comment down below. I'd really appreciate that. That was a makaku. I think that's a makaku, where you put one hand down and then you look up and you kind of do like a back handspring. That was more of a back handspring. And then just like some shadow boxing. Not too good at it. Like with the other thing, just let me know if there's any advice you think I should probably work on for my technique. It's just like a Gumby roll. That's actually really popular in capoeira. And then now I'm just working on some flares. I'm starting to really feel them.
All right, this is a little grass session with the fake Yeezy Pods. They got real dirty. Now I really understand why Yeezy doesn't manufacture them in a white version. Overall, for tricking, terrible. That's my honest review. You know, I started thinking about, these are poorly manufactured, of course, but then I started thinking, anytime you need to pivot, anytime there's like a sharp pivot, you'll find that maybe the outer sole stays in place, but the sock begins to shift wherever your feet go. That's why I've seen a lot of tricking. I just started learning some of these moves like 2 days ago, and I thought, let me come try them out on the grass with the fake Yeezy Pods. I can see for calisthenics, they're not an issue, because most calisthenic moves doesn't require you to do any like agile movement on your feet. Most of it is upper body unless you're doing shrimp squats or sissy squats or pistol squats. A lot of those movements in calisthenics don't require you to do like sharp pivots, but I'm assuming if you're gonna go play basketball in some Yeezy Pods or any of those shoe socks, your ability to or do sharp movements is definitely gonna be a huge issue if you can't be able to turn or make those sharp movements. I found myself having to readjust the shoes a lot. Even just like my feet, the ball of my feet and my toes starting to kind of like rub up against the rubber on the shoe. I don't know how Yeezy or Kanye circumvents this problem. You know, overall they look aesthetically cool. Walking around in socks, you're gonna get a lot of looks. Like when I was at the gas station, just walking up to the park. This park is kind of full. The park is pretty full. As far as the shoes go, you know, they really got me thinking. Honestly, most activities are better barefoot. You see a lot of kids in Brazil, in the favelas, they play soccer barefoot. Beach volleyball is gonna be played barefoot. A lot of tricking sessions, you're not gonna see people wearing socks. You're gonna just see them doing tricking sessions on the grass with their bare feet. Or they're gonna do it with the shoes. The thing with shoes is that you can adjust the tightness just by tightening your shoelaces. So it'd be pretty cool if the socks in the future started or had some sort of device where it could compress and keep everything compact, or if you just tie them up. But imagine putting shoelaces on socks, that would be crazy. But really, this whole idea of just kind of making my own shoe, I thought it was just for shits and giggles initially. I created the shoe socks. I needed a white version because I'm making a short sci-fi film, and one of the characters, he wears Yeezy Pods, but he wears a white version. And so Yeezy doesn't sell a white version. So I decided to take it upon myself to kind of do my own DIY, do-it-yourself activity. It kind of began to get me to think, what will shoes look in the future? Because shoes over the past maybe 50, 60, 70 years, they haven't really changed. And they haven't been, especially during now, with all the technology coming out, all this personalized medicine, precise measurements that you can take. You would think that by now, everybody would have custom shoes made for their feet. You know, some people tend to be more flat foot, some people tend to have more arch. Still, there hasn't been anything that's kind of like breakthrough, at least that's gone to the mainstream. Maybe there are some independent mom and pop shops that build their own shoes depending on your foot. I think I have seen some people where you put your foot into some sort of mixture and then the mixture dries up and you send that mixture back to the company and then they send you a shoe that fits only your foot. So that would be kind of cool if we could see some sort of a sock interface or a shoe interface for that. So that way everybody can get a customized shoe. I have been seeing a lot more people create more soles and things like that. I'm curious to see, now that I've kind of experimented with these sock shoes, I'm curious to see what the next generation of shoes will bring us. I would hope that there'll be more customization and there's not just, you know, Nike and Adidas shoving down shoes down our throats. I'm not much of a sneakerhead, so I don't really give a shit about shoes. But I know I do have some friends who do keep up with a lot of that stuff. And they tell me that, you know, StockX and the kind of sneaker hype has been killed by corporations. Because corporations, especially one of my friends was telling me how StockX has this one thing where maybe they sell, or Nike, they sell, you know, 1,000 pairs, but they'll keep 500 because they can sell 1,000 at retail price, but the 500, they'll be able to sell it at resale price. So I mean, there's also a lot of corruption, collusion when it comes to shoes and manufacturing. I would hope maybe in the future we start building our own shoes, our own shoe socks. I honestly did this venture because I also wanted to kind of figure out how we as humans are going to start figuring out a lot of grounding. You know, grounding feels great when your feet is touching like the real ground and the grass. And I've seen some research on how like you can get supercharged by, I haven't done too much research, but there has been like some sort of, some things that I've heard and seen that you can supercharge your feet, so the magnetic pulse of the earth and its core and its gravitational pull. Nowadays, especially with large corporate conglomerate shoe manufacturers, you're not gonna see them trying to push the boundaries on making the shoes fit. And another thing that I didn't like about these shoes that I will say is anytime you're walking on like hard pavement or cement, but that made me think not so much necessarily about the shoes, but more about the pavement and how, you know, pavement, humans have built a lot of these pavements to walk around and whatnot. But I always thought about what would be really cool is if we saw a city where instead of having a pavement as a sidewalk, you had a grass as a sidewalk and people would just walk on grass and just walk barefoot. Cement and pavement, blacktop, is really hard to remove and recycle. And so once it's there, it's a pain in the ass to try to get rid of. So aside from pushing the boundaries when it comes to shoe fabrication, I would like to see more of maybe us pushing the boundaries on how or where humans are walking. If we could figure out some sort of material that is not so detrimental to the earth, because one thing that I know is that, as the rest of the world becomes more and more developed, does that mean that we're gonna have to create 10 times the amount of cement and pavement in roads for everyone? Or are we gonna start figuring out new ergonomic, economical ways that are eco-friendly and not just economically friendly for these other countries to start building their infrastructure and their layouts? Are we just gonna start manufacturing 10 times the amount of bricks and cement blocks, blacktops? Or are we gonna figure out a new economical and eco-friendly way to kind of create more of an infrastructure that allows humans to do what we've always been evolved to do, which is just walk?